They think there's a greater fool out there that's going to pay a higher price, only they don't realize that they're waiting for a fool. And ultimately, the fools that are left holding the bag are the losers.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
Within a decade, crypto and blockchain technology will be the 12th sector in this.
Bitcoin doesn't have any value in and of itself. It's not backed up by anything.
Roughly a coin average price of 30,700. Spent about $4 million on it.
Is that we are not buying this dip because it's not a dip.
What in Turkey Town is happening to Bitcoin right now? Has Bitcoin actually bottomed at this long-term Fibonacci level once and for all? And more importantly, has the ultimate bottom signal already occurred right in front of our eyes? And is now the time for the Moon Boys to re-emerge more blindly bullish than ever before? And the reason that the GBTC premium is narrowing may be the most insane part of this story so far. So sit down, open up your Bitcoin trades, and send your grandma a kiss and wink emoji, because this is where things get big. I'm your host, Spuds Magoo, and this is absolutely ginormous, with Bitcoin now showing some unbelievable signs, not only in the charts, but in multiple different fundamental analyses that we're going to be looking at in this video. And as well, what is going on with the top altcoin, Ethereum, right now? Is it now showing signs that the entire market is finally paving the way for a mega giga bounce long to the upside? Well, that is what we'll be discussing, and many more. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these completely time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you're interested in any bonuses or deals, make sure to check out the fantastic links. Getting altcoins or trading this market up to about $16,000 in free bonuses when you deposit. Without any further ado, let's pump on in. Unbelievable, with Bitcoin right now having the tiniest, teensiest, weensiest little pump to the upside. And with everybody on the planet taking a gander at this potential inverse head and shoulders that may be able to skyrocket us out of oblivion and into infinity and beyond once and for all, everyone has their eyes on this. And I distinctly remember even back in 2019 tracking a gigantic, much bigger than this, but a gigantic inverse head and shoulders that absolutely did catapult Bitcoin ultimately once and for all to about 10K. I remember when we were watching that, as Bitcoin had not been able to test 10K for so long. And basically all of that to say that inverse head and shoulders is a very reliable pattern in a downtrend to reverse a trend. It's one of the, from my experience, it's one of the most likely and consistent patterns, breakout patterns, that forms at the end of downtrends and catapults things much higher. That and descending or falling wedges also are very good. But yeah, taking a look at this, if we take a look at the daily chart for Bitcoin, there's so many things we want to jump into. And actually, I'm going to jump back into the charts in a few minutes after I take a look at this, but I want to talk about even a few more critical, absolutely very important things. So, more and more signs, in my opinion, showing how similar of a move we could see back to, how similar of a bounce we could see back to not only in July of 2021, but also March of 2020 and April of 2020, as we really found a bottom and started reversing to the upside. Even in a wider context bear trend, there's always bounces and moves to the upside. Even within a multi-year downtrend, even if that were to be the case, you can still expect some volatility and some bouncing. And again, I think a lot of signs are finally showing that we are about to maybe see that. Basically, what I'm saying is we're about to maybe see this move to the upside. Now, do I think that Bitcoin has completely bottomed? I am not necessarily convinced, okay? I still think that 12,000 is a distinct possibility over the next 6 to 12 months, depending on the macro environment. That can change any day. That's, news comes out every single day. This could absolutely be the bottom of the bull market. We could be exploding, in 1 or 2 months from now to the upside. Absolutely nobody knows, and nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody can predict that far in the future, because again, so much of it has to do with fundamental events. Really, the only reason, in my opinion, Bitcoin's on this prolonged downtrend is because of the overall broader markets, which the timing of which is very hard to predict. Myself and many people were talking last year around August and September of a pretty much an economic collapse, and it didn't happen. But now again, a lot of people are thinking, oh well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is happening. Were we right about what was going to happen? It was just delayed. Well, it's possible. But one thing that I think is very clear and very likely right now is the idea that Bitcoin is actually about to potentially head into a mega bounce. And I have a lot of reasons for this, and I want to talk about it on this chart as well. But one of the main things I want to talk about here too is this. Is it possible that Bitcoin miners actually already fully capitulated? And there's actually some evidence of this. So Bitcoin miner capitulation event may have actually already happened, and this is huge. This is like the biggest thing to mark a Bitcoin bottom. Bitcoin miners may have already sparked a capitulation event. Fresh analysis is concluded. The dip to about 17,600, 70% below November's all-time highs for Bitcoin USD pairing, has hit some players hard, and actually data shows that miner wallets sending large amounts of coins to exchanges demonstrate that a miner capitulation event has already occurred, which has preceded market bottoms in the past. So there's no guarantee that, just because this happened, it's a market bottom, but it has in the past. Bitcoin miners are being drained of their coins, and it's unprofitable for some of these for some of these entities, right? For miners, it's time to decide to stay or leave. And this has always been a huge pressure on Bitcoin's price. A huge reason for Bitcoin's price movements is miner sell pressure. If there's one whale in the market, miners are some of the biggest. The miners that mint the blocks and receive rewards of Bitcoin for doing so. And also something very interesting here is that Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust GBTC discount is seen narrowing. And it's possible we can get this ETF decision in only about 2 weeks from now, which is insane, only a few weeks away. Shares of GBTC are trading at a discount of 29%, down from 34% last week, and there's a lot of speculation on what this means. What this means is that, according to the market logic, GBTC would trade at par with the underlying Bitcoin in the fund, but right now it's not. It's trading below that. But we see that it's been narrowing lately. So what is the reason from this? It's very possible that we could see this verdict by July 6th. At this very second, the SEC has since pushed off a decision, but the plans currently are to render a verdict by July 6th. And a lot of people, especially within Grayscale, are optimistic of a spot Bitcoin ETF, which would require that Bitcoin is bought for this ETF, right? The futures ETF and the short ETF that just launched a few days ago, they don't require any Bitcoin be purchased. The reason that the futures ETF wasn't that big of news is because it didn't actually involve real Bitcoin. There was no underlying asset of Bitcoin. So it's just a derivative, it's kind of just not really involved too much with Bitcoin. A spot Bitcoin ETF would require that Bitcoin be bought and used to facilitate a ETF. And this has never happened before. So imagine how the market would react. Imagine how this could push up the price of Bitcoin. And it's not like that, if this does get approved, it's not like Bitcoin is completely overbought. In fact, the opposite. Bitcoin is very oversold right now. So the buying pressure, the potential boost from this, if a spot Bitcoin ETF would be approved, would be massive. It would be gigantic. So the SEC, the Grayscale has said here, we remain encouraged by the SEC's actions over the past 8 months, which have signaled an increased recognition and comfort of the maturity of Bitcoin, of the underlying Bitcoin market. So this is very big here. Another factor worth considering is the crash of the crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital was important. The fund suffered heavy losses, and they were large holders of GBTC. Having that sell pressure out of the picture gave whoever stepped in here some added confidence the overall downside for GBTC is greatly reduced. Basically, 3AC getting absolutely destroyed made it a safer bet to be buying GBTC. And also as well, Bitcoin has been unable to produce a daily close above 21,000 for the past couple of days. And is Bitcoin actually able to pull that off now, as it is having a little bit of a move to the upside along with some other very important things? That's what we're going to take a look at here. So the DXY as well, this is something that's still happening. We're back testing this support to see if the DXY is going to remain strong here, and still watching this bearish divergence to see if this plays out. The SPX, again, having a very good day today, very bullish close, up, on the day, over 2%, very good, as it comes into contact potentially with that 50-day moving average right underneath 4,000, or 21-day moving average right underneath 4,000. This will be the big test, because when we broke above it back last month, we failed to hold it. Here's another shot. Here's another shot for this, and this is gigantic. And actually, one thing I think is very important to take a look at here is that everyone's like super bearish. Like, what if 2008 happens again? Well, guys, let's take a look at this. So 2008 was caused because we had a double top pattern. We had this double top here. First one was in 2000, then in 2007, we got a rejection. And 2008 was pretty bad. It was pretty gigantic and dumpy. But looking at this, I don't know why everyone's so incredibly scared of like something. Everyone's looking at a possible repeat of 2008 as the worst thing ever. Yes, it would be bad. It would be horrible. Prices would drop most likely a lot if we saw something similar, right? We'd see the SPX drop, a lot. We'd see, presumably, again, this is just speculation, if this would happen, but it's not like things went down forever. In fact, we then jumped into like the strongest bounce of all time. So again, kind of unrelated to this video, but I was just looking at that the other day and thinking like, okay, well, if that would happen, I would just, spend a year or two buying as much of the assets that I thought were valuable as possible. That's just my opinion. But again, if we take a look here on Bitcoin's 2-week chart, you can see again, once we come in contact or go under this red line or this red sloping channel here, have been the absolute best times to accumulate Bitcoin. And there's an argument to be made that either of these two lines is enough support before heading into sideways massive accumulation and massive bouncing. So, looking at this chart, again, just important to watch. Most importantly, I believe this area right here, right around 19,000, right around 20,000 is the most important. And if you take a look on the side of the screen here, the VPVR volume you can see right here, we have a decent amount in some of these ranges, especially even right at 19,000, but look how cataclysmically massive it gets right around 12,000, this trading volume. Basically, in my opinion, that 12,000 will be bought up like jelly beans at a jelly bean festival. I can't imagine people not going absolutely nuts buying at 12,000. So much support, in my opinion, there. Actually, years of resistance that has now most likely turned into support. It's huge. But also on this weekly chart, again, very important to note that the 200-week moving average is where we're about to test, right around 22.5, about only $1,000 or $1,500 above where we currently are. If Bitcoin is able to break above that, then I would have no choice but to get bullish for at least a strong dead cat bounce, at least a strong move to at least the $30,000 range. Okay, and again, we're still watching this exact fractal we saw play out 3 years ago. I think it's very likely we'll see something similar. And yeah, this inverse head and shoulders as well. So many big things, absolutely very big. See you guys in the new channel. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications. Remember, this is absolute time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you're interested in longing or shorting this market, getting extreme bonuses to do so, up to 16,000 using all the links below, getting altcoins even, just buying them or staking your ADA to earn rewards, make sure to check out all the links below. But without any further ado, that's it for me.